Celebrating 15 years of podcasting, here's a memorable moment from the Adam Carolla Show's Ace Awards archives.
A lot of people are surprised that there is such a wilderness setting in Southern California.
I like the dead trees.
Yeah.
That's the greatest, Huel. Hold on a second. Huel?
Yes.
Most people burn dead trees. Lots of times there's termite colonies living in dead trees.
Yeah, but when...
Sometimes you'll find a decomposing carcass near a dead tree.
Well,
dead
that's
tree
the
is something
thing.
we try to get away from.
No, because when you're around anything that's dead, that's a reminder to you that you're the boss.
Oh,
You're in charge.
it's a dead tree.
It was a live tree. It was
Right,
a live
now it's a
tree.
dead
and
tree.
we were playing a little game called Angry Lumberjack and Withholding Tree.
Oh.
And when I say tree, it could very well be a lost hiker pretending to be a tree or hiding behind a tree or just running towards the road. You know how they say when you have a hammer, every problem is a nail?
Yeah.
Well, when you're pretending to be a lumberjack, every lost hiker's a tree. That's how I see it.
Now, for some new memorable moments, let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
All right, Dana Gould is here. Dana's
Cargo pants full of whimsy.
Yeah, that should be the name of the special, Dana. He's going to be in North Carolina, Wilmington, Dead Crow Comedy Club. That's coming up this Friday and Saturday. And then, most importantly, Los Angeles, Dynasty Typewriter live special taping. And that'll be this coming Monday, the 18th. And that'll be the special.
Yeah.
So you want to be involved with the special, go to that.
Yeah.
All right.
You can be on someone's television in a crowd shot.
Yeah. I feel you've taped a few specials. I bet the audience is probably a little more jazzed up, right?
Yeah, no, it's like this. Joel Hodgson used to say, it's like the school play. Everyone's excited.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks had the greatest joke about that on his album. He goes, "We're recording an album tonight. Don't identify your laughter." "Ha ha," said Bill Harris of Phoenix.
Yeah, did you watch his doc?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, it is so good.
He's a genius. He's scared. He kind of gives me anxiety because he's so good. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, well, I'll never get near it.
I don't know. I think if anyone could, you're somewhere in that orbit, Dana.
I'm just like, well, you're kind to say that, but I'm just like,
You're both
he's so
thinking. You're both thinking men's comics. He probably has a little more vaudeville in him than you do.
Genetically, like his uncle was a famous country western singer named Zeke Manners, who was like the Jewish hillbilly.
Oh, I just knew his Park Your Carcass dad.
Yeah, it was
but
his
I
dad,
didn't
and his
know.
uncle was Zeke Manners.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's got it. He tells a really funny story because his dad was in show business all of his life, and he goes way back to the Silence. And Albert tells a story of he was walking down Beverly Drive one day, and like a friend of his dad drove by. And Albert goes, "Hey, whatever the guy's name was." He goes, "Hey, I just signed a contract. I'm going to make my first movie." And the guy went, "How many reels?"
Wow.
But seriously, like,
Yeah, it's a
two-reeler.
It's a great doc.
Yeah.
So you should.
He's
you
quite
should enjoy
brilliant.
it.
He's quite brilliant.
No, I agree. All right, should we do? I got more jokes. I got more Oscar talk, but maybe
We'll do a little
I'll
bit.
sort through that.
Okay, while you're sorting that, I'll do a little bit of recap from the show. So it was the 96th Academy Awards, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel for the 11th time, according to Mike August.
Oh, it's a real sweet picture of him and my daughter. I think
Yeah,
I sent it
we
to
have
you on there. He was nice enough.
Did she have a good time?
Oh, she had the time. She had the time of her life. Jimmy was nice enough to come through with the ticket for her at the last hour. She got herself all, she did all the stuff that we would never have done.
Sure.
She bought herself a dress, had a hair appointment,
Oh,
had the
great.
makeup thing, and chartered the car.
Sure.
And could you imagine your dad? I mean,
No.
could you imagine saying to your dad, "Here's what"?
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's the bill.
yeah, I think the problem, I mean, Dana's probably experienced this. The chasm between how you came up and how your children came up shouldn't be insurmountable. So what I mean is like Dr. Drew's dad.
I can't make that claim.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew's dad was a physician, and he grew up in Pasadena in a lovely home.
Right.
Now, his dad was cheap and his mom was nuts, but they had money, and his dad was a physician and so on and so forth. And he went to a private school and blah, blah, blah. And then he became a physician, and then he raised his kids in Pasadena. So the chasm between his childhood and his children's childhood wasn't it wasn't the Snake River Canyon.
Right.
Now, how I grew up, I'm like fishing half a Subway sandwich out of the trash can and yelling, "Who is this? Who is this?
Yeah.
Who put this in here? What are you doing? There's guacamole on it."
Right.
And everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts, but I am nuts because I was raised by those people.
Right.
Right. And that's the chasm. If I was just, swinging a hammer, making ends meet, and, living in a decent apartment in Van Nuys with my kids, then there wouldn't be this chasm.
Right.
So every time I hear about dress shopping, shoe shopping, makeup artists, hairstylists,
Sure.
calling the car, my head's just going, Jesus Christ.
It is true, but I do think it's common that people that came up, people that came up through not great circumstances, if they do become successful, they do spoil their kids just out of innate generosity. Like, oh, I've been so lucky, I want to share it, and you share it.
I don't feel like there's a choice.
When my daughter talks about her childhood trauma, I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
Did you see Hamilton too many times?
Yes,
what was the trauma?
I know.
What was the trauma?
But the beauty of it is at some point they'll be sitting in a therapist's office and explaining that Jimmy hosted the show 4 times and you only went to 3.
Sure.
That'll be the trauma.
Yeah,
and guess
100%.
who's going to be at the losing end of that
Oh,
trauma?
yeah.
Right here.
No, I've gotten my childhood trauma. I'm sorry, what?
Right. All right.
So Oppenheimer won 7 awards, including Best Picture. Poor Things won 4 awards. Zone of Interest won 2. All the other movies won 1, or all the other big movies, except for Killers of the Flower Moon, nominated for 10, won 0.
I was 100% wrong about that. I had Lily Gladstone chewed in.
Yeah, me too.
As a early, because she was good, and she would have been the first American Indian,
Yeah.
whatever. And
she
LGBTQ.
should have made, somebody says, should have made Marlon Brando accept her award.
That joke is in
Oh, there you go.
this
Yeah, great.
pile somewhere, which
Great.
is always funny because you go, that guy ripped off my jokes. Like, I didn't rip anyone's joke off, and they didn't rip it.
I read that online. I don't even know who it was.
Oh, now I'm going to find it. My Poor Things joke was it's after Poor Things montage, I guess. Poor Things. An old scientist replaces an attractive young woman's brain with her baby's. This town is always accused of grooming and nepotism, and this ain't helping.
Is that the plot of?
Yes, she well, I don't know. Her brain is replaced by her kid's baby's
Okay,
brain.
so it's not. I thought it was basically a remake of Bride of Frankenstein. That does not seem to be the case.
Kind of is.
Listen, in a weird way.
What they don't say is
Babies like to get it on. Is the
it's more Pretty Baby than it is Frankenstein.
Okay, yeah.
It's Emma
That's
Stone.
not good.
By the way, I woke up thinking Emma Thomas too for some reason, which it says on my screen.
Oh, that might have been me then, too.
For some reason, I went Emma Thomas, and then I went no,
and then,
but not that
and then
far.
there's Emma Thompson, who's
Right,
much
yeah, Emma Stone. Emma Stone is basically naked the entire second half of the film and just plays a prostitute. And I rarely say enough. Like I'm like a fat guy to Fogo de Chao.
Yeah.
When that guy turns the card red,
Yeah.
that's enough. Like when I say enough of her nudity, getting banged by Parisian guys. I've seen enough full frontal of Emma Stone. When I say enough, that means it's been enough.
Yeah.
only the girl from the 2020 video could hear you.
Oh my God.
Well, that's the thing. It's like anti-eroticism. You just like do it all the time. It's like, oh, it's no fun anymore.
Right.
Yes.
Desensitized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you said, Emma Stone.
That's why I'm usually nude.
Emma Stone won Best Actress. All the other categories seem to have gone the way everybody was thinking. That was kind of the only one that seemed suspenseful as far as that. But Best Picture, Al Pacino walked out and presented, and it was.
Whose suit was he wearing? Because it looked like a kid wearing his dad's suit to the outside.
Yeah. Great joke by Kimmel when he brought him out saying he had to get a babysitter before he could come out here. But here's him presenting Best Picture. Everyone found it very confusing.
Yes.
Only one will take the award for Best Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that. And I will. Here it comes. And my eyes see Oppenheimer. Yes. Yes. Emma Thomas, Charles Logan.
He said Oppenheimer, like, if you ever go pick up dry cleaning and they're like, do you have your stub, your receipt stub? And you go, I don't think I have it, but I can see my stuff hanging there. And then they go, oh, okay. And then they go, Carolla? And you go, yeah, it's Carolla. And they go, you don't have your stub? And you go, no, I don't, but I can show you. And they go, oh, yeah, it's all right. And then at some point when they're handing it to you, you reach into like your fanny pack and go, oh, yeah, yeah, actually I do. Well, anyway, we're good now. Like that's as much gusto as he gave
Also, he didn't
Oppenheimer.
He didn't read the other.
Like the nominees.
The
usually,
nominees, don't they go like...
Well, they have been doing it throughout the whole show. When you get back for commercial break, they'll play a little clip because there's so many movies nominated. But it was weird.
Because it is nerve-wracking when you... I have done it at lesser award shows, and it's nerve-wracking because you don't want to make a mistake and you don't want to,
Yeah,
Right.
and he was really... It just sounded like he was confused the whole time.
Yeah.
And there was like a little bit of a delay before
It looked like
came in.
they woke him up just before they introduced him. You got to get out there, Al. Sorry.
Who kind of sounds like Bobby Hollander, by the way.
And yet,
Yes.
I was at the Saturn Awards like 2 weeks ago. 93-year-old William Shatner came out, sharp as a tack.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's a stiletto.
I agree. I've done things with him. I've been on stage with him. I've interviewed him. That's it.
And he's there.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I think it's genetics married to engagement.
The engagement's a big part. He still does everything because he believes I have to stay busy and I have to stay working. It's like his brain's a muscle and he wants to keep it active.
Right. Did Poor Things won for set design?
Costume design.
Oh, but who won set?
Let me
I
see.
think they won
They might
set
have won set
design.
design.
My eyes see Oppenheimer. It almost sounded like a threat. My eyes see Oppenheimer. All right.
I had, you also write jokes for stuff that could happen,
Right.
Which always feels like, oh, this is never going to happen. But here goes. I did think Poor Things was a cool set.
Production design, yeah.
Production design. So I wrote, these are jokes if Barbie wins production design.
Okay.
So I got to be honest. I was pulling for Poor Things. Now this is Barbie wins, and by the way, Jimmy's not going to say he's pulling for another thing, but I just said, I got to be honest, I was pulling for Poor Things. Basically, Barbie, all you guys did was put an M80 in a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
I'd have done that joke.
And the joke, also one of the jokes somewhere was like, they're up for costume design. Some woman in 1963 already designed all of it.
Yeah, that's right.
You literally, your research was sending your assistant to Target to buy up all the Barbie shit. And then you just came back and went, let's make a bigger version of this.
Yeah.
That's not design.
It's a creation.
It's not creation. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So the In Memoriam.
Yeah.
had-
Also
like
known as the Necronomy package.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Andrea Bocelli was singing with his son. Time to Say Goodbye was beautiful.
Oh, that was his son.
That was his son, Matteo.
Oh,
We
man.
can play a little
It's
bit of
got
it.
pipes, too.
Yeah, let's hear some of it.
Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso si vivrò con te.
Yeah, beautiful. So there was a lot of criticism with the In Memoriam. Most notably, it was hard to read the names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to show me it on. You can put it on my television.
You can full screen us.
Yeah, you can full screen
full
us.
screen it. And listen, I'm sorry, but get the publicists and hairstylists out of there. We can look them up somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's recognizable. So
Was Richard Lewis in the?
was.
Richard
Okay.
Lewis, but the point is
He wasn't in a lot of movies.
The
Though.
clip from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay, well, that's a movie.
he gets. The point is, like, Carl Weathers gets the exact same time as Maury Epstein, the publicist,
Sure,
who
yeah.
I've never fucking heard of, who was the Gone with the Wind publicist. You know, and they both get 4 seconds of
Right.
FaceTime up there. I get that publicist is a job, but you guys do the technical Oscars, you know, a week before,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like you do understand that not every category, you don't have a publicist category. I would argue if you don't have the category, they don't make the In Memoriam.
I'm wondering
during
if
the
it's
show.
just people in the Academy. I don't know what the qualification is.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
good question.
Well, there,
But
there
there's
were-
just in front of the Improv, it says Richard Lewis, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have found that funny because Richard was never at peace.
No. Right.
I used to live next door to him. I can tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He seemed like a great guy.
He was fine. Yeah. I mean, I honestly didn't. I lived 2 houses away from him on Hemet Place behind the Laugh Factory in the early 90s. He would fly down that street in his Mercedes going 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
I never, I would look, I'd wave, and then we're doing a show together and he's going to bring me up. It was a TV show and I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with him backstage. And I'm gonna say this, this is weird. I'm your next door neighbor. Mm-hmm. And the conversation went like this. I cannot talk right now. Please.
Oh, really?
Okay. That was my conversations with Richard Lewis.
All right. So he was that.
Yeah.
there were some omissions in the In Memoriam. Oh, kind of omissions. So Lance Reddick from the John Wick series.
Wow, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Treat Williams.
That's a big one.
Suzanne Summers.
That's a big one, too.
Patron celebrity of bedwetting.
Yeah, Norman Lear. I mean, he's a TV guy,
well,
but
still.
you know what? They're saying Norman Lear should be credited with Spinal Tap because he funded like the initial idea of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
But but they did at the very end of the In Memoriam, they put a bunch of just text of names and they were included there. But people were upset that they weren't included with
Yeah,
like,
I
the
just
picture
think
or
full
the
screen
liner.
it. I don't care to look at these 2 dudes singing. Give these guys a moment.
I agree. And also, when you don't full screen it, the first 2 or 3 people just get jacked because we're at a wide shot from the
Yeah.
balcony and I can't even read
We're still
who's
establishing
up there.
the stage.
Yeah.
And there's like a ton of ballet dancers that are performing. And that was just kind of weird because it's distracting. You're looking at the dancers instead of reading the names and honoring those who passed. So
Here's a joke. They wanted, I'll shoehorn a few of these in.
Jeez.
They wanted one about Saltburn, about Barry Coogan's character and Jacob Elordi
yeah.
doing all the crazy drinking the bathwater and doing
Yeah,
all
of
that
course.
kind of stuff. And it's so it says, in Saltburn, Barry Coogan's character drinks dirty bathwater, humps a grave, and dances naked through a mansion. Wait a minute. Isn't that how Joe Rogan beat COVID? It's a good joke.
That's a great
I
joke.
would have done that joke.
You would have done that,
I would
Joe.
have done that joke.
Well, start hosting some
Yeah.
goddamn Oscars, would you please?
Yeah. I would have said it as a sentence. Oddly, that's how Joe Rogan beat COVID. I'd have done.
See, you're more secure.
Well, I would have done the Carson. I just go, how would Johnny Carson do it? That's how Joe Rogan beat COVID. I feel bad that there are all these great words and like things that Carson can't do because he died too soon. But like for Karnak now, it'd be like, May a crazed web designer
Oh, right.
log off your sister's mainframe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. TikTok influencer.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
You
would have
can't
been
do
all
it.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
he missed out on.
Yeah, well, the Kardashians. Come on.
Oh, the Kardashians. Oh. Yeah, or even Latinx.
Yeah. May a crazed Kardashian dump their lip filler in your pickleball court. Like, there's so many
Right.
things.
Oh, and he would have loved pickleball.
Oh, he would have gone bananas.
Would have gone
pickleball.
bananas.
Oh.
Carson would have gone bananas for pickleball.
We got to get him back.
We got to get him back.
Speaking of jokes, so I would say the biggest laugh of the night was it seemed impromptu. Jimmy Kimmel came out at the end and he read a Truth Social post about the
Yeah, it was
Oscars by
great.
Donald
That
Trump.
was great.
And he said this.
Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth Social. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still. Isn't it past your jail time?
They loved it.
Bigger laugh than anything in the monologue.
I found it. Lily Gladstone would be the first Native American to win an acting Oscar. If she wins, Marlon Brando is going to have to accept the trophy in her behalf.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. I always tell people all the time when they go like, and someone will go, they want to build a wall between Mexico and the United States. You know who's going to build that wall? Mexicans. Like who's going to stack the cinder blocks? And you go, yeah.
Yes.
2,000 comedians all had that thought simultaneously.
I can already name two of them, yeah.
And then they want to accuse the other one of ripping them
God.
off.
There was, all right. Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
We encourage it.
This was a joke that two comedians in Boston in the early 80s, okay, early 1980s, both of these comedians came up with this joke and they had a fist fight over it.
Wow.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here's the joke. 1982-83. Is it just me or does E.T. look like a piece of shit? And
That's
two
the joke?
adults had a fist fight over that joke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was talking to Goldthwait, and we both we both remembered it, and we were like, "Oh, they had a fight! Yes, they had a fight!" We'd
Right.
forgotten it for decades, and we were jumping up and down.
The only joke I had anyone ever accused me of stealing from them many years ago, like almost open mic times, was to have this joke where it's like AAs for Alcoholics Anonymous, and then they have the CA for Cocaine Anonymous, and then they have people that are addicted to sex, so that's fucking A. It's a good little tidy little joke. And but another guy said that's his at the club.
Oh.
And then there was like an argument ensued. I would never argue with anyone you didn't think of it. My argument is I didn't take it from you.
Yeah. It's like, great. I'm sorry.
Right.
But if it's established with you,
Right.
I had, I don't even know what it was, but a really good friend of mine who's a much more famous comedian said, I do a thing like that, and I just want you to know. And he's very classy because he goes, if you see me doing it, I don't want you to think that I got it from you.
Yes.
And that's his way of saying, like, a dude, I do it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'll take it out. It's not important. And by the way, I don't even remember what the joke was. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
All right. What else you got?
Okay, so also speaking of music performances, so Barbie won Best Song. That was the only Oscar they won for the Billie Eilish song. But everyone's talking about Ryan Gosling's performance for I'm Just Ken.
He threw himself into it.
Threw himself, just committed.
Which was fun. And the rest of the song seemed pretty weak. Like the Indian drum circle was like, is that a song, or these guys just hopped up on peyote?
Yeah, I think.
trying to.
They threw everything they had at that.
What they were doing is like that's what you do when you're fishing and you're trying to get the fish to move toward the gill nets, back in the day, like that's how you would do it. You're essentially annoying carp. This isn't. And of course, the entire white audience had to spring to their feet afterward and be like, oh, this is great. But I don't think anyone would be listening to that while they were on an airplane.
No. Oh, I remembered 2 more jokes everybody did and what we used to do. My friends and I would always do this. There was a time when everybody had this joke. Every time there's a plane crash, they say they read the stuff in the black box. Why don't they just make the plane out of the black box? And then we would always go, just quiet. The plane would be too heavy to fly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
The other one was, Jay.
Yes, the black box was the 80s joke.
Yes.
Make the whole plane out of a black box.
Hey, Reagan had cancer in his colon, and then George Bush had cancer on his finger. What's going on here? That's not how cancer spreads. There's nothing going on here.
I remember hearing Greg Fitzsimmons say, like in the Boston scene, like him, Rogan, you guys all like shared jokes just in case, like it was a break in case of emergency, because you'd be performing in some pretty weird places.
That's funny.
And they knew, they all had like the same joke to just get him out.
Yeah, that's understandable.
All right, so do you want to see some of the Indian performance?
Yeah, I do. Just because
the drums.
There's nothing there.
All right, we'll pull that up.
All right, let's see.
Or will we?
All right, I'll give you. They wanted some Paul Giamatti in and out jokes.
Because he famously brought the Golden Globe to the In-N-Out after the ceremony.
Right. Yeah. So he went straight to the In-N-Out after the Golden Globes, wearing his tux and holding his award. It had to be confusing for the young employees. Hey, what's that crazy maitre d' doing over there waving around a golden peppermint?
That's a great joke.
You would have done that one.
Yeah. Do you know who his dad is?
No.
Former commissioner of baseball, Art Giamatti.
Oh, my God.
Who banned Pete Rose from the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
He does not get enough shit for that, Paul.
Yes. Jesus Christ. All right. We'll find that clip. Another In-N-Out joke.
I wonder if he had it tough growing up with a dad who only was the commissioner of baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He seems to have landed on his feet.
By the way, by all accounts, great dude.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, he seems like it.
He's a really great guy.
I still can't get over how he's Paul Giamatti. He's the star of Showtime's biggest show. He's now Academy Award. He's been an Academy Award nominated actor.
He did that weird commercial.
He's Albert Einstein. He plays Albert Einstein in a Verizon commercial where Cecily Strong's playing herself.
I don't get it either, but I kind of like it.
And it's not even it's not even a tongue in cheek. Like that's Paul Giamatti. No, he's playing Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get it. Usually there's an answer, and it's it can be summed up in the word divorce.
Yeah, divorce, or somebody backed up the money truck is another one.
Yes.
I hope so.
Here's an In-N-Out joke. In-N-Out has a secret menu, and you can now order something Giamatti style. It's a regular double-double, but you have to eat it in a tuxedo while speaking to a publicist.
That has a Rickles rhythm to it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can eat in a tuxedo while speaking to a publicist.
Yeah. Maybe a little too West Coasty because not everyone knows Animal Style from probably Texas and beyond.
I'm trying to think, when you write jokes, you have to kind of go, do people know? I think people are aware of the secret menu on In-N-Out. Yeah. In-N-Out goes far and wide. You hear people talking about the legend of In-N-Out who are from, Virginia and Wichita. It's gettable, I think. But it's true. When you write jokes, you have to get into a lot of those.
I'm going to think after the show, Paul's going to In-N-Out, which has a different meaning than the In-N-Out in the 70s. You can ask Warren Beatty and he'll explain.
I had a gay joke in there somewhere. Oh, yeah. All right.
Was Beatty there?
Find my gay joke.
Was he there with his wife?
I did not. I just saw Annette Bening.
Yeah. So best animated short actually was War is Over is what won best animated short, and Sean Ono Lennon went up there to accept, along with the two producers. Mainly the two producers talked while he just stood there giving the peace sign. But as the playoff music,
that'll do it.
As the playoff music started playing, here's Sean getting into the mic.
Thank you. I just want to quickly say my mother turned 91 this February, and today is Mother's Day in the UK. So could everyone please say Happy Mother's Day, Yoko? Happy Mother's Day, Yoko!
God.
Can't even have an Oscars.
She can now she's annoying us from 6,000 miles away. Like she cannot rust, never sleeps. Like all she does is annoy. She was like, I need the most annoying son to carry on my legacy of annoying people.
I always wanted to know Julian Lennon felt when I was like, hey, I wrote this great song. It's called Beautiful Boy. It's about Sean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Yoko, here's a song that she would have loved to play over with the bongo drums, but this is the performance.
She's got some competition.
Oh,
always a sound thing. I don't know what that is.
That was animation.
All right. There's always a sound thing. I never remember the sound. Mazola, corn goodness.
all right. So it was like 2.5 minutes of that, and then standing.
It's not a great.
You're standing at that one.
You can't not stand.
It's not a great. It's not a great thing to say about your musical performance if you gave me like a colorful poncho and a couple of a little ceremonial garb and 3 beers, and I just shotgun 3 beers, I could go get lost in that crowd.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like now when you know the Who was playing a stadium, I couldn't do that.
Sure.
You know, I couldn't just stumble out there and sort of hang out by the drum kit. Yeah, but you could lose yourself
you could
in
absolutely get lost in that crowd.
in this crowd. And also, I always, you know what I feel bad for? I always feel bad for all the Native Americans. Was it Lily Gladstone?
Lily Gladstone, yeah.
Lily Gladstone. The problem with Lily Gladstone is she has to represent.
Yeah.
All the other women just buy a dress and earrings and jewels and jewelry, whatever. She has to wear the stuff. You know, it has to be the ceremonial garb.
She's not going to wear crystals.
She can't wear diamond earrings. She has to wear ones that are God's eye, made of, 2 twigs and yarn and represent the tears of her people or whatever it is. And that'd be like me. I'm Italian. It'd be like someone said, Adam, you're going to the Oscars. Great. Here's your gondoliers outfit. And I go, I don't want to dress like I'm delivering pizza.
Cillian Murphy's dressing like the Lucky Charms guy.
Right. And it's like, no, I want something flattering. I hope I'm going to get laid tonight. No, put the gondolier outfit.
Yeah. Put it on.
Short pants with high socks and a buckle on your shoe. Carry this oar.
Tyrolean hat.
You'd be like, no, here's your squeeze box. Get out there. That's what it's got to be like. I mean, it's a burden, right?
It is a burden.
And I would also argue it's a little bit racist that she can't just put on a gown with every other woman. Every other woman is just wearing what's the nicest necklace, nicest earring, and nicest, most flattering gown. I will put it on.
It's also that standing ovation is so... whatever happened, that was getting a standing ovation. There's a very famous story, I believe it was the Monterey Pop Festival, where Ravi Shankar was playing. And he came out, and him and the band were tuning up. And when they finished, they get a standing ovation.
Right.
It's like, no, I haven't played anything yet.
Also, all the other ones, they have that thing on the red carpet. They go, who
are you
Who
wearing?
did your dress? And she's got to go, Dances with Bobbins. It's got to suck for her. She should be free of it. I don't want to wear beaded ceremonial earrings.
This was taken from the Magic Turtle and
whatever Emily Blunt's wearing. That's what I want to wear.
Let her have a dress.
Give her a dress. All right. What else?
Let's see. So, Dag was the voiceover guy.
Yeah. That felt crazy to me, but he did a good job. And I was like, that seems odd, but good.
Phil Lamar is the voice of the Saturn Awards, but he sounds like this when he does it.
Oh, Phil from the Groundlings.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And a thing they did this year, I guess they did it a few years ago, but they brought it back, was for the Best Actor categories, they would bring out 5 of the previous winners, and they would pair up and just compliment one of the
Right.
nominees.
Oh, it's all previous winners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would compliment one of the nominees instead of just showing like a clip for. That's
It
how
was
they
also
announce
because
it.
that all became a way to get around the fact that Will Smith was not coming back last year to introduce the Best Actor clip, so they had to find a workaround.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
That makes
because
sense.
normally it's the previous year's winner,
Right.
but he's verboten. I wonder what he was doing last night.
Well, he was watching someone have sex with his wife. I think it's rare that a well-built black man gets cuckolded. You know, it's
Very
rare,
weird.
very rare. But
You know,
there is
you
an aisle in the 2020
you
video in
you
Studio
see
City.
everything if you live long enough.
That's right. And
He
so-
may be the exception that proves the rule.
But wait a minute, he won 2 years ago.
Right, so they started it last year, and I think they're
I see.
continuing it.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice tradition.
It gives more people something to
Yeah.
do.
John Cena came out naked.
Yeah.
Best costume design. Nice little.
That was funny.
Everyone's talking about that.
Yeah, I thought I liked the Barbenheimer controversy with Ken and
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
That was good. So that was interesting because first off, they're announcing that Kimmel in the monologue said, "Hey, we have a new Oscar category coming out, and it's for best casting. They're gonna award a best casting director."
That's a very great idea. It really is.
Yeah,
in
so
all
that's-
seriousness,
That's going to start in 2026.
that is an art.
But a lot of people are saying, "What about best stunts?" Though we're still pulling. We want a best stunt category. So Emily and Ryan came out and they just acknowledged the stunts in movies. They played a little montage and said, "Tip of the cap, we salute you." But
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny back and forth, and you kind of realized that they both have chops.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, Ryan's got good comedic chops.
He's very good.
because you can tell when the person doesn't really have the chops. They usually go a little big-eyed and they bring it up a couple of notches where the guys who have the chops sort of sneak
Go
it
in
in.
under it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh,
And
well,
especially at the Oscars where the bits can be so sweaty.
Right.
Oh, listen, you got to find the bit. I forgot about the fucking good Dana's here. You got to look for when. Oh God, I got to think. There's too many new actors and too many faces.
Yeah,
and
I
too
can't
many,
keep
too
track.
many-
I have no
can't
idea
keep track.
whoever-
They did the Chippendales joke. You can find You can find that clip, and you can find the Chip and Dale's joke, which clearly didn't work and was a weird premise.
Was that the Octavia Spencer?
Octavia Spencer
and Melissa McCarthy.
and Melissa McCarthy did We Get Along Like Chip and Dale. Except for Chip and Dale's a reference from the early 60s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Late
Like,
50s, yeah.
but that's not on the tip of anyone's tongue. More people know regionally that In-N-Out Burger makes an animal style than have said the word Chip and Dale. So they go, we get along like Chip and Dale. And then she's like, Chip and Dale's? What? And then she's like, huh? And like, you mean dancing naked like Chip and Dale's? And it's like, no, Chip and Dale. And it's like, somebody should have just raised their hand and went, hello. First off, it's a weird reference.
It's like a Dr. Z reference.
Yeah, Byron will find it. Oh, you got it? Yeah, we'll find it. I wrote it down and I forgot to tell Chris to cue it up, but it's weird. And
she's
unfunny.
funny.
And they're both funny.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of funny. And we'll boot it up and then we'll
there was
bring our guest out.
There was a clip circulating online yesterday from the 1988 Oscars of Pee Wee Herman giving out an award and got interrupted by the RoboCop robot, and it was just like, "Oh no, you're here to give out the award." 7, 5, 3. Nobody knows what it is, but I have to give out the award for best dramatic reading of the 4. Just a fucking turd. Poor Paul's hanging out there, on ass in the wind.
Oh, he made the In Memoriam. So they're both real funny, but Dana, deconstruct this. Like, think of it as a joke. If somebody wrote this.
Okay.
Right, here it is.
Original screenplays and adapted screenplays are cut from the same cloth. They're similar, yet they remain unique. Yet, each art form maintains its individual characteristics.
It's kind of like us, right? I mean, we do our own things, we also do our things together. We're like that Chippendale of showbiz. Right?
Chippendale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see us as the lycra pant pelvic thrust types.
Well, speak for yourself, but what are you talking about? I said Chippendale.
You said Chippendales.
No, I'm saying, I'm saying Chippendale. Chip in, comma, Dale, and you're saying Chippendales.
Oh, because I thought you were saying Chippendales. Chippendales.
Usually I am saying Chippendales.
We're trying.
Not now.
Not a lot to work with.
This is a great example of a thing in writing called.
Yeah, you can stop it.
This is a great example, a perfect example of a thing in writing called a Nakamura.
I've heard of that.
Which is a joke that in the writer's room, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then you keep bringing it back.
Right.
Like you hit it 4 or 5 times because it's just going to build. And it goes back to, I believe, the show Newhart, where he had a brand new camera called, is that a Nakamura? That's the best. And they just thought this, and there was like 5 callbacks through it, and it just crapped out from the gate. And then you just hit.
I would have raised my hand in that writer's room and went, nobody knows a Chippendales reference. Also, it's murky. Like, so Chippendale was saying we're like Chippendales dancers, and is that really that offensive? Like, this is going to be a tough one to sort out.
It would have been really funny
everybody.
if one of them said, let's pull the ripcord on this and get right to the nominee.
That would be the only savior on it. It's a 70-year-old reference that no one even says,
and they can
especially
say,
with women too. Women don't get along like Chippendales.
They're both funny. They can go like, I don't get this.
We didn't write this.
Did Bruce Valanche
go Joe Coy?
Is Bruce Valanche still in the writer's room?
Yeah,
is that what this is?
Eddie Gordetsky punched that thing up. All right,
Pacino
Dana
probably had a Chippendale joke in his teleprompter, and he avoided it.
Let's give Dana a plug. This weekend, Friday and Saturday, Dead Crow Comedy Club, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Great club.
And then Los Angeles, Dynasty Typewriter. Taping the live special there. That's this coming Monday, March 18th. Dana, always good to see you.
Thanks, buddy. Go to danagould.com for tickets on all that crap.